I have a question for you. Do you have a passion? And if so, do you love it enough to pursue it, even if you can't make a living out of it? Personally, I never really got the idea of pursuing your dreams if that meant sacrificing money. I was watching Blue Period. It's an anime that I least expected to pick up, honestly. It was just some show about some kid drawing and painting some art. I mean, I did a little bit of art before, took some lessons from an old lady in the garage, but it really wasn't my thing. I didn't know what I was getting into, but ironically enough, I found myself strangely paying attention to the show. And I don't know why, but I think the show just hits home. I think it's because the show relates to us on a deeper level and explores the concept of passion very well. As I mentioned, Blue Period is just a show about art, and it follows this boy named Yaguchi who's a regular high schooler. He's smart, he tries hard, he's good at academics, and he hangs out with his friends occasionally. The thing about Yaguchi is that he treats life like a game of leveling up, where you achieve a goal and move on to the next. He goes on his high school days with that mindset. He tries hard in school and doesn't really have anything he's passionate about. He's just studying hard for the sake of studying hard and getting a good career. He, for the most part, is content with doing that. That is, until he stumbles into the art club, and there he gets encaptured by this art drawn by his senpai. While he's looking at this piece of art, he gets interrupted by a friend, Ryuji. In almost a bit of envy and spite, he gets into a bit of argument with his friend, saying that he's worried for his future as he's pursuing a career in the arts. Yaguchi then goes on to criticize Ryuji for studying art, saying that it's the fourth most expensive subject to study, and even those who get to the school rarely make a living out of it. He says he doesn't understand the idea of doing what you love if you can't earn a living out of it. Now, I think many of us are in a similar position as Yaguchi. I know I certainly was. I didn't particularly have what people call a passion in high school. I just lived my days kind of putting in the effort to study for exams and, just like Yaguchi, aimed towards checking off the next achievement, which is to simply get into a good program at a reputable university. As someone who thought he wanted to go into engineering, I also shared Yaguchi's thoughts. Why would someone go and pursue something that they love even if they've got a tough road ahead? I just didn't understand that idea. Now, I think this is a relatable feeling for so many of us. How many of you guys were just told to study hard in school, go to college, get a job, and earn a decent living pursuing a stable and steady career? I know I was. We were always told to maybe keep our hobbies to the side and focus on school because that's just most important. Keep completing these benchmarks. That's what we've been told. And one day you'll be happy. Yaguchi is in the same boat with all of us. He doesn't understand what it truly means to be passionate about something. Towards the end of the conversation, the art teacher leaves Yaguchi with a couple words. She says that he cares too little about his feelings from burning out. The art teacher responds that he has to understand what he's truly passionate about. He didn't understand those words. Fast forward to when Yaguchi was watching a soccer game with his friends. As they were watching the soccer game, he finds that his friend's favorite team scored, and he felt nothing. And that's when he realizes he never cared and wonders why he was cheering for someone else's achievements. He wonders whose feelings of excitement these were, and why he feels that way is also understandable to us. Yaguchi, like many of us, is a byproduct of what society has taught us. I know many of you are probably in high school, again trying to get good grades to get a good job and live a stable life. We're all pushed along that same path, and for many of us who haven't found that thing we're passionate about, this was just an okay option. I didn't really think about what I truly wanted and just followed the beaten path. There wasn't any need to go through the difficulty involved in choosing a path for yourself. However, what ended up happening is that once I got into university and started studying engineering, somewhere along the line, I couldn't pretend nor convince myself that I liked what I was doing anymore. And this is exactly what Yaguchi was realizing. He wonders whose feelings these were, and realizes that it wasn't his. The meaning behind his teacher's words were that he needed to find what he himself wanted to do. Because somewhere down the line, you can only pretend for so long that you're passionate about something you couldn't care less about. And perhaps it's okay to not think about these things and pretend that these goals are what you actually want. I don't like how we're supposed to know what career we're supposed to pursue at high school. But at the end of the day, if you never really think about it, perhaps somewhere down the path, you won't be able to pretend you feel passionate about the things you ultimately don't care about. And just like me, you could pretend that this is okay, but when night comes and you're staring blankly at the ceiling, only then you start to question if this was really the right path for you. Luckily for Yaguchi, he realizes this. After the hangout, they go outside and he sees the deep blue morning Shibuya sky. He promptly goes back to the art room and starts trying to paint his feelings. His hands move naturally and he thinks of all the ways he can recreate that deep blue Shibuya sky he saw. For once in his life, he feels something. He finds joy in painting, in expressing his feelings on that blank canvas, conveying his thoughts and emotions that he felt in one moment. It was then he discovered his passion for art. Now, this part of the show was very interesting for me. As someone who had no passion, I always had the feeling and pressure of needing to find something that I loved, something that's a hobby. However, I think Yaguchi's journey highlights a message that passion might not be something you find, but rather something you discover. See, the thing is, I personally tried very hard to find a passion. I enrolled in different things to find something that I could be passionate about. But Yaguchi's discovery of art was by pure coincidence. He didn't go on some special self-reflection and journey to find it. Just in that moment, he felt something he didn't feel before, and he grasped it. And I think this was a very interesting idea. I don't think I've ever found passion with the intention of searching for it. Blue Period says that perhaps the key to find your passion is just to try new things. Maybe it's saying that it's all luck. But what it does say, as shown by Yaguchi, is that you must not let other people decide what you love. It's saying that it's the easy choices that ultimately will lead you to the most emptiness. Yaguchi highlights the importance of forging his own path, and this is exactly what he does. Realizing his passion for art, he tells the art teacher that he wants to join the art club and pursue a career in the arts. He's scared of this, and understandably so, for someone who didn't have a talent in art, nor did he spend time pursuing and practicing art. Obviously, it would be the hardest path. He asks if he's going to make it, and the art teacher tells him that she doesn't know. She tells him the reality that he knew all along, but she says that isn't it natural for us as human beings to just chase what we love? And I think that's a very uplifting message. So going back to the original question, would you pursue your passion even if that meant you would earn no money? Personally, I don't know, and I still probably wouldn't. But I think Blue Period highlights a simple message through Yaguchi's journey, one that we've all forgotten. Maybe pursuing your dreams will be the harder path, the path that requires more work. However, it says that it's only natural for humans to chase what you love to do, and that perhaps you can't let anyone else decide that path for you.